Well, this is the second episode of this little series that I came up with. Well, not necessarily came up with, that I took inspiration from someone else who does this type of stuff. Um, I'm half asleep. I woke up 2 hours ago, around maybe 4 p.m. So if I'm stuttering a lot, if I don't know exactly how to answer, if I don't have a good enough answer, um, just excuse me, because it's, yeah, like, yeah. I don't normally do intros that much, but we're doing another common therapy video. I'm not trying to waste too much time, so we'll just get right into it. Okay, so I'm sure we have more responses than last video, I think. So we'll get right into them. The first submission says English or Spanish. Okay, okay. The actual first submission is, do you think life is hard even if you have a good mindset but no support? Now, this question is kind of confusing a bit to me because, like, reading it, if you have a good mindset, I feel like that is a good amount of support already because a lot of people don't have that mindset to support themselves. Because, I mean, sometimes I don't think you really need a support from anyone else. There's always people out there who say, like, as long as you have yourself, you're fine and you'll do good. Although support from other people would be very much appreciated and helpful and make you even feel better about yourself, I feel like you should be able to support yourself and be proud of yourself and the things that you accomplish. So I don't think life would be hard necessarily. Maybe if you just never get used to not having support from others while you're, developing a good mindset, I guess so. But I think to me, it's something that's useful to like get accustomed to. But no, I don't think life would be considered harder just for that. Now, the next submission says now the ne now the next submission says, what motivates you? Um, Honestly, I would say what motivates me the most, and well, what's been motivating me for the most part recently is just making these very little like milestones for myself, or having these very little goals, or always just having something that I do perform, just this, even if it's like the slightest bit better than uh anything else that I've done previously to progress, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, so for my channel and just me trying to be a content creator in general, I would say the things that is motivating me the most would be whenever I make a video and it does well, but then I make another video and it does even the slightest bit well, or stuff like that. Just the very small things that people probably don't tend to appreciate as much. I try my best to be grateful of all of those types of things. So I would say that that motivates me the most. And that can honestly just correlate to anything in life, I'd say. It doesn't really have to just be, about YouTube or anything like that. Like, as long as you try to go through every day trying to be just a tad bit better, even if it's like 1% better than the previous day, like, that's something you should appreciate because you are quite literally progressing whatever goal you have in mind for your life, and you're getting closer and closer to that finish line, whatever that finish line may be. And I don't know what else I was gonna say, but I'm assuming you know what I was trying to. Next question, I mean, well, submission is when life seems hard, what do you do? When life starts feeling a bit difficult, I tend to just take a step back from a good amount of things, just really dissect everything that's going on and identify whatever underlying issues there may be, whether I caused this, whatever it may have been, whatever may have caused whatever's happening. I identify it and I make sure that's what it is, and then I try to figure out like solutions to these issues. What can I do to make myself feel better and avoid feeling like this again for some time or whatever like that? Yeah, I kind of just be talking to myself as kind of weird as it sounds. I mean, I wouldn't say it's weird. I'm pretty sure like most of you guys do that shit anyways. So, but yeah, I that's pretty much all I really do. I just really actually figure out what the problem is. I'll hold myself accountable for whatever may have for whatever I may have done to cause this if it's necessary, and then I just try to move on from it. Like, yeah, honestly. Now, the next submission says, "What's something most people don't know about you?" Hmm. Well, I'd say in general, when I'm out in like public or whatever, or whenever I was in school back then, I wouldn't really talk as much. I would kind of really just be to myself for the most part. I didn't really care enough to really like talk to that many people. So I'm pretty sure I would get like that assumption made about me that I was a very quiet and reserved person, but I actually talk a lot. I won't lie. I love anyways, I love talking. I'm maybe not as much of a yapper as other people that I know, but I do like to think that I talk a lot, and I do love having like very long conversations about stuff, whether it's reminiscing about like fun memories with my friends or just deep conversations in general. I could go on for hours and I wouldn't be tired of it. Next submission comes from this guy. This guy says, "Do you think chasing happiness is a good idea?" Well, when you word it like that, it could come off as a bad thing. If you're chasing happiness through taking drugs and doing stuff like that that kind of gives you an out from reality, then no. No, I wouldn't say that that's a good idea, doing things that harms you. If you chase happiness in a way that actually benefits you, your health, your mental stability, all of that type of stuff, then I would say that that's a good idea. Yes, of course. And I would advise, anyone to do that because why wouldn't you want to be happy? So I'd say it's a good idea, but be cautious of how you chase that happiness and make sure it's an actual method of being happy and not just a getaway or something like that. Next submission is red or purple Doritos. This is like this is probably one of the easiest questions I've ever heard in my life because if you pick red Doritos, you can just unsubscribe, please. Don't even just click off the video right now. I don't even I don't I no. Just no. Now, okay, the next submission is coming a bit back on the more serious note, and it says there's two people drowning. Do you save the one who loves you or the one who you love? Hmm. To be honest, that is actually a really good question. And I wish I was a bit more awake to really dissect this question and given more time to like think about it, but I didn't really look at these questions before recording this. But I think now I would probably save the ones that I love. But and that's mainly just because like I just I care a lot about the ones that I love, and I wouldn't want to see them, gone like that. Um, yeah, that's really all I have to say. I wish I could, give a more in-depth answer, but I will definitely think about that a lot more. And who knows, maybe even revisit it back, not back in the future. Jesus Christ. I'll revisit it in the future and, maybe have a little conversation about it. The next submission is a goated cereal. Hmm. That is a good question. Because for me, I feel like it does change very often. Like I'll have these phases where I have a favorite cereal, but then once I start eating it too often, it's just like, ugh, I'm getting tired of this cereal. But I'd say one that I think about a lot, probably the most, would be like Fruity Pebbles. I think Fruity Pebbles, on average, of all the favorites that I've ever had, would be like my first place favorite on average, like throughout all the years. And Captain Crunch would be like a close second. Third, maybe Lucky Charms. Maybe Lucky Charms, yeah, maybe. I don't really know which one would be the third, but first, my goat cereal would be Fruity Pebbles. Definitely not no cornflakes. Next submission is what character trait do you dislike most in someone? I've um I've had this type of conversation before with a few people, and one that I always remember me talking about is I hate how stubborn a person can be sometimes. And I'm not really into the whole like it's my way or the highway type of stuff at certain points because I feel like people who just have chronic like stubbornness, I feel like they're just very close-minded people and they don't really care to, hear someone out. I'm not really a fan of that type of stuff. So I would say that would probably be my answer. Yeah. The next submission is do you believe in ghosts? Um, do I believe in ghosts? I'm very neutral about it, I would say. I've never had any encounters personally. Do I think they're real? They very well could be. I would like to say that they are to a certain degree. Um, thing is, like I just said, I've never like had any encounters before, but I'm not willing to have one either. I'm not willing to go somewhere haunted and find out whether ghosts are real. I'm not into that type of stuff. Like, no, I'm not white. I'm not doing any of that. I'd rather, live. Next submission is a special message for the fans. Well, I wouldn't say that I have fans necessarily, not yet at least. If I had to give you guys a special message, it would honestly just be to thank all of you. I'm very appreciative that some of you guys can, take the time out of your day to watch my content, little old me. But yeah, honestly, I would just want to thank you guys a whole bunch. And also thank you guys for, making my reels go absolutely insane. I I have no words, really. Like I don't want to say thank you repeatedly because I feel like it's not accurately conveying how much I actually appreciate all of you guys. But yeah, special message. You guys give me a reason to continue doing stuff like this. Like, as much as I already enjoy doing it in the first place, you guys make it a lot easier to feel like wanting to do it, you know? So, yeah, I appreciate all of you guys, and I'm gonna continue doing stuff like this for as long as possible. Next submission is, damn, there's a lot left, but next one is, how do you feel about where people are at in life around you? P.S. Miss you, little bro. I miss you too, man. It has been a while. It's already been like a year, and but hopefully we'll be able to link up again. But how I feel about where people are at in life around me, um, assuming that you mean like my closest like friends and my friend group that I'm part of, I would say I feel like we're all kind of in the same spot where, since we're all like growing up and we're all still really young, like we still have all the time in the world kind of, and we're all working towards what we want to do in life. And even if like any of us are doing better or whatever, I mean, that's still fine. I don't think any of us would have that type of jealousy because we all want to see each other like do well in life. But yeah, I'd say that that would pretty much be my answer. I don't have any jealousy for, any of my friends that may be doing better or probably in a better position. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. Yeah. Next one says, what are some expectations you hold for yourself in life? An expectation I hold myself to, I honestly just want just to continue pursuing the things that I want to do in life, like any fulfill whatever dreams I may have, and just, I guess, end this life knowing that I did everything that I ever wanted to do and more. That to me is like my biggest expectation that I hold for myself. I just have a very big passion for the things that I want to do, and when I'm passion driven, I go at it without stopping. Like I do what I have to do, and I and am willing to do whatever it takes to kind of do or to accomplish what it is that I want to accomplish. Next one, oh, now we're getting into love. I see. A little bit more deeper into love, at least. What do you think love is? Hmm. Love to me would probably. Hmm, this is a good one because I feel like I could give many answers, but I just don't know how to word it. I would say love to me is a connection between souls, whether it's romantically, platonically, anything like that. I feel like it is just a connection between souls, like like genuine love, obviously. When you actually feel love for someone, it almost feels like you've never experienced anything like it before, especially if it's your first time. And even when it's not your first time, I feel like the feeling always feels so refreshing to the point where it feels like you've never felt it before in the first place. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, but obviously things can get, we're not gonna get into that. I think it's a beautiful thing overall, And I think it's a genuine connection between souls. That's really all I have to say about love. Next one is, do you think it's essential to be a good person? I mean, yeah, I would much rather be a good person than, be a bad one. I don't see what being a bad person to yourself and other people would really get you in life. My voice hurts. Do you think we should avoid transformative experiences? Damn, that's a question I've never heard before. But what I think you mean about this is like, I guess, things that change, that just completely changes our lives, or stuff like that. Stuff that kind of puts, it almost feels like time just stops in real time, right in front, like right before your eyes, and probably, changes how you view certain things or just life in general. And if it's if it has to do with that type of stuff that I just said, then I would say no, because like we obviously don't like, the bad things that happen to us, and we wish in the moment that it never happened. But once you're able to grow from all of these types of bad experiences, you'll always find yourself saying that you're glad that it happened in the first place, because if it never happened, you would never become the good person that you are today, So I feel like transformative experiences are extremely important, as bad as they can feel, and the amount of hardships that can come with it. I mean, I understand that, but it's gonna happen like regardless. So why not just grow from it and try your best to become a better person from it? Okay, I'm gonna try to do these last three very quickly. I've already been recording for 30 minutes, and like I said, I don't want to make these videos too long unless you guys like that. Just make sure, uh, give me some feedback on that in the comments, and subscribe, since I'm asking. I'm not even asking anymore, I'm demanding. Okay, now what are major red flags in people? A major red flag in a person, people who are dangerously self-destructive, but so self-destructive that they kind of they just subconsciously bring other people down with them because of how self-destructive they are. I don't like people like that. That to me is very, very dangerous, and those are the types of people that you genuinely just have to avoid being around. I would go as far as saying to just not talk to them at all, even if they're like a good friend of yours or whatever. Sometimes that's not the type of stuff that you need to be around, because you're going to be getting dragged down by somebody who isn't even you, and it'll be considered your fault because you're not the one who removed yourselves from that person that was being so self-destructive and dragging you down with them. And just, like simple stuff like liars. I don't know any other red flags. Lying is just the first thing that came to mind. Anyways, the next submission is, do you believe in fate or everything happening for a reason? I I've always thought that everything did happen for a reason. Honestly, I think I still do. I think I still do think that everything happens for a reason. Because it's like, because when I was reading it just now, I thought of some of the issues that I have dealt with, or the reason why some of those things may have happened in the first place is because I kind of just let it happen. So that would be like the reason as to why it happened. But, other things like losing someone, or, having like a family member pass away. I mean, there is always some sort of reason, whether it's like a health condition or old age, whatever. Like, there's always going to be a reason as to why things happen. Whether you believe that it's unfair or not, that's completely up to you. I mean, granted, I would not advise anyone to think that, because playing that like victim card and having that victim mentality will literally get you nothing good in life. You're not gonna be able to tell yourself how to grow from those transformative experiences, and you just won't be a better person coming out of it. Okay, the last one. This is the last question. What is your advice for people who are insecure? My advice for people who are insecure. I would say you need to have a conversation with yourself. It all comes down to how they view themselves. Clearly, they don't like that so much about themselves that, again, they kind of just self-destruct over it. You see how everything is kind of piecing together? Yeah, everything is just piecing together. And embrace whatever flaws you may have, because at the end of the day, even the people you think are the most perfect people in the world, they have flaws too, because we're all human. That's the special message for the video. We're all human. So, damn, my throat is a little dry. Um, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. It's probably gonna be over half an hour. If it is, just watch it, you know. But that was the second episode of Common Therapy of this little, well, should I even call it an episode? Second installment of this little series, and I hope to do a lot more. Like I said, these types of videos will be releasing bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, depending on everything else that I got going on and stuff that I'm recording already. But thank you guys for all the questions, and continue being curious, because I'm here to answer whatever it is as a very young and developing 17-year-old. So thank you again. Drink water, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.